Good morning. This morning I am making this video to inform you of some curriculum that is entering into our school systems across the country. In fact, 49 of the 50 states have adopted some form of these curriculums. What these curriculums are is they're under the name of mindfulness. Their actual names of the curriculums that I'm aware of are Calm Classroom, Goldie Hawn's program, which is Mind Up, and the other one is called Inner Explorer. What these curriculums are, is to find a way to bring about some sort of change in children's behaviors. Although I have sympathy for the teachers, being as I have a wife who's a school teacher herself, who has taught more than 13 years in general ed and is now working with special ed children, so she deals with behavioral issues every single day. So I understand what these curriculums goals are to do, and that's to bring about a change in the children. Bringing more calmness to the classroom in order for education to take place. And I fully understand that. But these programs are not the way to do it. They might work to a degree, but the issue is that they are all Buddhist and oriented. And they're being enacted without parental even notification. That parents aren't even aware these programs are taking place. In fact, I didn't know till I heard a radio program on Jay Sekulow Live that was discussing it. And so what I do when I first heard the radio program from Jay Sekulow Live is I contacted my daughter's elementary school and called to speak with the principal. And actually, through email first is what I ended up doing. I emailed her and got a response back that there isn't one of these programs, any of these curriculums in the classrooms currently. They're not being used in the school, but prior to Christmas. And she was saying that come January, which we're in now, she was going to be undergoing some training into these programs. They were going to be training the principal and some counselors into the curriculum in order to enact it at a later date coming up sometime this year, where the curriculum would ultimately be implemented into the classroom. So with that, of course, I don't want my child involved in it, because when you actually start looking into these curriculums, you will see that it's a Buddhist prayer is what it is. Information on these curriculums is very sparse. But what is there, I've heard enough sound bites and enough sound clicks, so to speak, of these programs to see that, yeah, it's Buddhist prayer. There's ringing of bells. There's sounds of rain through, I guess, what they call a rain stick. You might call it white noise, so to speak, in the background, with a calm voice telling kids to look into themselves. And it's Buddhist. That's what it is. It's Buddhism. And if you're of any sort of religious affiliation, whether it be Christianity, Catholic, Protestant, or whether you're Muslim, or I guess Hindus would probably be okay with it as well. But if you're an atheist or an agnostic, I'm sure you would have heartache over your child be and force to undergo these curriculums. And in some cases, it's taking place 15 minutes a day. And I've also heard reports that in some schools, it's taking place as much as 45 minutes a day, spread over 3 15-minute periods throughout the day. Our own local news did a story on these mindfulness programs where they were singing the praises of it. But the bottom of the line is this Buddhism. And it's being put in our classrooms. And where I have an issue with it is not only because I'm a Christian and so are my children, but where's the separation of church and state? I mean, it wasn't so long ago that they removed Christian prayers out of the classrooms, which I do believe was a downside to our educational system because it's brought about this lack of order. Do I agree with the program and its nature? Sure. something needs to be done related to the lack of discipline or the lack of children's self-control would be a good way of putting it. Personally, I think it starts in the home. Discipline in the home, and I mean good, strong discipline that's punitive, where a child does something and there's a result, a consequence to that action. That needs to take place, and it's the responsibility of parents. Parents need to start disciplining their children. That's the bottom of the line. My wife has dealt with so many parents who just let their child do what they want, and the result is an out-of-control child with no respect to adults or anyone else, their own peers. So discipline needs to start in the home. Buddhist programs without parental okay should not take place in our classrooms and should not be a part of our schools. It is religion, and it needs to be removed from the classroom. Although I don't feel there's a separation of church and state clause in our Constitution. In fact, I know there isn't. Where we get it from is from a letter that Thomas Jefferson wrote, but it's not part of our Constitution. Yet, our country also has an issue called precedent. And since we do have precedent on the separation of church and state, this needs to be removed from our classroom. That's it. So what do you need to do if you're unaware of these programs? Well, number one, you need to try and find information about it. It's very hard to. I'm telling you, it's a challenge to get any sound bites, to get to viewing the curriculum. So the first step I think you might undergo is finding out if any of these programs are in the schools that your children attend. And if it is, you should request to see if you can find out any information about them. And if the schools aren't willing to disclose it to you, then your step should be to remove your child from the classroom, and that they should not participate in any of these curriculums. In fact, I informed the principal of the school my daughter attends that she is not to undergo any of these programs when they get enacted. Post school day, I checked with my middle-aged son, who's in a sixth grader at Floyd Light Elementary here in Portland. And he informed me that they've been doing this Mind Up program in their school. So I instantly contacted his school counselor and informed her that he is no longer to participate in these programs. The next step I did is I contacted the ACLJ, and they are representing me in the case against the elementary school, and more than likely also the middle school where this program is being enacted currently. They have sent the principal of the elementary school a letter. It goes into it's great detail. Goes into nation law within our country, and how these programs are in violation of that law. And so we are currently awaiting a response back from the school, but I've got a strong feeling not we meaning other parents in the country, are going to be in a legal fight with the ACLJ, and it's probably going to end up in the court system, and more than likely ultimately some sort of court ruling to have these programs removed from the classrooms. So what should you do? Get your child out of these programs. If you're an atheist, a Christian, a Muslim, get your children out. Don't let them be forced to undergo these programs. It's Buddhist meditation and prayer is what it is. Get them out. Next thing you do is, if you need to, contact legal advice, legal counsel. Could be through the ACLJ like I did, and seek what you should do from that end to get these programs removed from the schools. So what's this video about today? Get yourself informed on what the schools are doing. Get yourself informed on these programs. And then your next step you need to do is protect your children. And that means you need to get them out from underneath these programs and get them removed from the classrooms when these programs are taking place. So I hope this is helpful. Contact ACLJ. It's aclj.org if you want further information about it. Look up Jay Sekulow Live's programs related to these mindfulness programs. You can find his airing of his show on YouTube. Look into it. That's another way to get informed about these programs. That would be under Jay Sekulow Live on YouTube. and look for Mindfulness or Mind Up or Internet Explorer in a search tagline for the ACLJ, and you should be able to find the video of their session on it. You can also find some videos of discussions about the curriculums on YouTube by searching for Mind Up, Internet Explorer, Calm Classroom. So get informed. Protect your children. That's what you need to do as a parent. Protect them from this Buddhist prayer. If you're a Buddhist, I'm sure it's no big deal to you. If you're a Hindu, yeah, I'm sure it's no big deal to you. For those of us that aren't, it is a big deal. And number one, it's religion in our classrooms, and that alone needs to be stopped. So get yourself informed, protect your children. Hope this is helpful. Have a good afternoon.